They're on Ms Franks to conclude the debate.
Thank you, Mr President. I remain constantly surprised by this place. I thank all those members who contributed to this debate, and I think it has been an unnecessarily protracted and frustrating one over many years. We are seeing the last vestiges of Jumps Racing supporters put up an increasingly shameful and dishonest campaign to try and stop what I think is actually inevitable. Indeed, as I've just noted to a journalist on ABC Radio, Victoria and South Australia are the only places that still run jumps racing in this nation. I've got to say, simply because people want their so-called entertainment, we really must get real and recognise that the Law Society has recognised this for the cruelty that it is, that the data from this jumps season in Victoria is a sobering reminder of just how much more dangerous jumps races are compared to flat racing, even when measures are taken and introduced to make them supposedly safer. This season alone, up to the 8th of June, there have been 11 race meetings with 39 jumps races and 56 flats races in those meetings in Victoria. And while there were more flats than jumps races, 11 horses fell in jumps races, while not a single one fell in the flats races. So those safety measures certainly haven't proven to have been effective in Victoria. At least 2 jumps horses have died in jumps racing in Victoria this season. There has been no deaths from flat races in Victoria this season. So that's 11 race meetings with jumps racing and, on average, 11 falls. 1 fall per race per meeting, despite their safety measures being introduced. At least 76 horses in South Australia and Victoria have died as a result of jumps race injuries between 2009 and 2021. And I say at least because the death toll is actually believed to be much higher because the industry has not been compelled to publicly report all associated injuries and deaths. This, of course, doesn't even touch on just how many horses fail to finish races or knuckle and stumble during jumps races, and we know that these figures are not complete. And frankly, the industry doesn't seem that interested in true accountability and transparency. The 2016 South Australian Parliamentary Select Committee into jumps racing found that jumps racing is significantly more dangerous for horses and riders than flats racing. That is what it found. It produced 28 recommendations in a report that gave the sector 3 years. That is until 2019. It is now 2022. They were given 3 years to fix the key animal welfare and transparency issues, and the recommendations also did find that jumps racing was significantly more dangerous for horses and riders than flats racing. The transparency recommendations focus on increasing the data captured, ensuring it was accessible and reported in a way that enabled further analysis. For instance, showing the link between races, injuries, deaths and final outcomes for horses after becoming what is called non-viable for racing and being listed as retired. And currently there's little information published to identify whether jumps horses that were retired are retrained, euthanased or sent to slaughter. I think that the recommendation also encouraged the sector to increase investment in injury prevention and treatment, horse retraining and rehoming. Unfortunately, again, there is little evidence to suggest that these recommendations have been implemented. The sector does not publish lifetime information for each horse. Injuries and deaths in training and trials are not always reported. The impact of non-fatal injuries from colliding, knuckling, etc. is rarely reported. Horse deaths after race day are rarely counted as having resulted from a race, although they often have, and there is little evidence of research into the factors that contribute to horses failing to finish races or the publication of a safety action plan. And there is still no requirement for injured horses that mask their injuries on race day, which is normal for prey animals, to receive follow-up vet assessments following race day. I see no space for this industry in modern South Australia. It is well time we joined with almost the entirety of the rest of Australia, other than Victoria, and provided certainty with regards to ending animal cruelty in this state and, for that matter, certainty to the racing industry itself. I've long said jumps racing forms something around 1% of the industry, but it certainly provides about 99% of not only the bad publicity, but indeed the harm to the industry in so many ways other than just the horses. With that, I commend the bill.